Are you thinking about buying a house in Calgary, Alberta in 2023 or 2024 and want to know, are Calgary house prices going to continue to increase in value? Well, in this video, I'm going to be sharing my August 2023 market update for the Calgary Real Estate. And I'm going to be talking about where house prices are currently, as well as where I expect them to go. There's some very good key indicators that I'm going to be going over, so you'll definitely want to watch this video if you're thinking about making the move to Calgary. All right, so I'm going to jump on to my computer here and we're going to take a look at some charts. This is going to help us understand better what's going on with our market and what's causing it to go up or to go down. So let's jump on it right here. This is as of August 1st, 2023. So at that time, the total residential price for Calgary was $567,700. Now this is including all of our four types of properties, which include the detached homes, which were at $690,500, semi-detached homes at $616,800, and row housing or townhouses at $407,500, and apartments at $305,900. As you can see here on the right with the inventory, our inventory is very low. And this is again historic lows for this month at 3,488 units. And our sales actually were record sales at 2,647 units. So this combination of low inventory and high sales or high demand is what's causing our prices to continue to go up. You know, I get comments from people thinking that maybe the realtors or people are greedy in Calgary, that kind of thing. The reality is that once you have this kind of inventory and sales or high demand and low inventory, prices just go up. It's just what happens. It's called the law of supply and demand. And as long as we continue to see this, we won't expect anything to change as far as property value and people wanting to move to Calgary. So if you've been following the Calgary real estate market for the last 2 to 3 years, you've seen and experienced house prices have really risen. Again, this is not going to stop anytime soon, in my opinion. And let's take a look at maybe why the values have gone up. You know, it's not because people are greedy here or because realtors are setting the price, that kind of thing. It has everything to do with the supply and demand of homes. And so when COVID hit and people kind of shut down, they weren't able to go out, and then all of a sudden, we were in a situation where people had to work remotely. And when that happened, actually, it allowed people now to have choices or more options on where they could live. And so what we started to see then is a big trend of people moving from Toronto or Vancouver or cities like that where the prices are excessively much more expensive compared to Calgary. And Calgary was just a great option. It's a great place to raise a family, and so we saw lots of families making that move to Calgary. So together with Calgary's economy actually doing very well, but Calgary's not just oil and gas anymore. There's a lot of other great sectors that are increasing. These are high-paying jobs, and so we're seeing a lot more again, people move in and getting relocated to Calgary for these high-paying jobs. So the question is, will Calgary house prices continue to rise as we go into, again, the end of this year and then into 2024? And what should you expect? So as long as we continue to see this large gap between the house prices of these other larger and much more expensive cities in Canada, I think we're going to still continue to see people make a move to Calgary. The clients that I work or the families that I work with, One of the things that I hear often is that they want to own a house, and they want to own a house that they have a yard. And if you got to spend over $1 million to find a property, or $2 million to find a property like that, it's very difficult in some of these very popular and larger cities like Toronto and Vancouver. So they love Calgary, and the people that have made that move over the last 2 years, my clients, they are very happy that they made that move, and now they have ownership, and now they can raise their family and have a good balance in their life. So as you can see in this graph on the total sales, and this is a history of Calgary for July, and then again it goes back to 2009. But as you can see here, the sales, we've had record sales for the month of July. So a huge amount of people still want to move to Calgary. And then let's now take a look at the supply. So this is the inventory of Calgary, and you can see now it's also a historic low. So with a combination of high demand and low inventory, this is what's causing the pressure for the house prices in Calgary to continue to rise. Also, there's another dilemma with supply. So for people that want to move up in Calgary, so for example, if you own a house now and you're in a situation where your family has grown or whatever the situation is, and you want to buy or upgrade to a larger home, the challenge is that you're going to need to sell your current home before you buy your next home. You need the money for that. And so what people used to do when the market wasn't as crazy as this is they would put their house on the market, get an offer on it, and maybe have a longer possession. And that would give them lots of time to look at what was on the market, and there was enough inventory that they would be able to find another house. The challenge now, though, or the dilemma is, if they sell their house, it's a good possibility it will take longer to find a house that is suitable for what they want. So people are very reluctant to do that scenario where they sell first and then buy. So what that does to our current inventory is it keep it low. And so until we see some changes in inventory, and again, that's going to happen more when people start listing their home and wanting to move or move away from Calgary. I don't see the prices changing too much, too drastically anytime soon. All right, so this next graph is a really good graph. It really kind of combines everything together on one visual. And this is the total inventory and sales put together and how it affects the value of homes, or the price of homes. And as you can see here, this bar chart is the blue is the inventory, the green is the sales, and red trend line is the benchmark price. And as you can see, July last year, definitely there was a lot more inventory, and the sales are still good, but again, a lot more inventory. And as you can see through the fall there, because there was a good amount of, inventory versus sales, we saw that prices actually soften a little bit. And that all changed right around December going into January. And you can see there that the gap is much closer between the sales and inventory. And as I mentioned before, when that happens, you're going to see the prices increase. And that's what they did. So, and as you can see here also on the months of inventory, the graph to the right, it's still very low. And this is just showing how many months it would take at the current rate of sales to deplete our entire inventory if there wasn't a new listing added. So again, very quick, all of our inventory would be gone. And that's just another indicator to show us the strength of our market. So the next question is really, where is this going to go? Like, what's expected for Calgary for the rest of this year, and of course going into 2024? I expect the prices to continue to rise, or the pressure on Calgary for the prices to continue to go up. The only reason I'm saying that is until we see Toronto and Vancouver, these very large cities in Canada, until those prices become more reasonable, people are going to be very motivated to look for another place to live. And Calgary is definitely a great choice right now for Canada. And so until we see those changes and the gap change, I really believe that we're going to see a continued pressure on values of homes in Calgary to continue to rise. So now a lot of people might be saying, well, the interest rate hikes for mortgages is going to cause the prices to decrease in all across Canada. Well, that may be true, but it's not going to be equal for all different areas. So for instance, if we see house prices in these two larger cities in Canada go down by 30 or 40%, which is huge, that would be crazy. But if that happened, then we may see obviously prices here actually soften as well. But even then, that's still going to be more expensive than where Calgary is right now. So as long as we see this huge differential in price, I still believe that people are going to choose to live in a more affordable house and home in a good city. And of course, Calgary is a good choice. You can tell, obviously, because so many people are choosing Calgary over other cities across Canada. So that's my market update. I'd love to know more about what you're thinking. Why do you think Calgary house prices are going up, and where do you expect them? Feel free to comment. I'd love to hear your opinion and why you feel this. And again, give my channel a like. If you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe if you want to learn everything about living in Calgary, Alberta. I've been selling real estate here in Calgary for over 30 years. I've lived here my whole life, and I love helping families make a move to Calgary. I know a lot about the Calgary area and the communities. So what I could do for you and your family is, based on your budget, I can help and recommend the best communities for you. And so once again, thank you for watching and have a great day.